Respect is not demanded. It is commanded, not by force, not by loudness, but by the quiet confidence that comes from knowing exactly who you are and refusing to apologize for it. So many people walk through life begging for respect, pleasing others, explaining themselves, shrinking to fit in, chasing validation like it's a lifeline. But true respect doesn't come from begging or proving yourself. It comes from being unshakable in your own skin, by who you are, not what you beg for. If people don't respect you, it's not their fault. It's because of what you allow. Today, let's talk about the habits that silently destroy your self-respect and how to break free. Because the moment you drop these patterns, the world will look at you differently. You see, respect isn't about looking strong, it's about being strong. It's not about convincing others. You don't need to convince anyone of your worth. It's about living with such clarity, conviction, and consistency that no explanation is needed. Let's start with the most dangerous habit of all: over-explaining yourself. Every time you justify your choices, you give people permission to question your worth. The more you explain, the weaker your stance becomes. Think about it. When was the last time you saw a truly confident person defending their decisions like they were on trial? Confident people don't plead their case, they simply exist in their truth. They say what needs to be said, then walk away without looking back. And that's the energy you must carry. Imagine this. You decide to take a break from social media for your mental health. Someone asks, "Why aren't you online anymore?" Instead of launching into a full breakdown, work stress, research on screen time, feelings of wasted hours, you just say, "I just felt like it." That's it. No room for questioning. No room for debate. The same applies to every area of your life. When you over-explain, people sense hesitation, and hesitation breeds doubt. They start to wonder if you even believe in your own decision. But when you speak with certainty, they have nothing to push against. Look at the most powerful people in the world: leaders, visionaries, icons. Do you ever see them over-explaining? No. They understand the power of a firm statement. The moment you start justifying, you lose authority. Think of it like this. Imagine a luxury brand like Rolls-Royce. Do they write long essays convincing people why their cars are worth the price? No, they simply exist, and people respect the brand because it doesn't beg for approval. Now apply this to your life. Say you start a new habit, maybe waking up at 5 a.m. to work on your goals. Your friends ask, "Why are you doing this?" Instead of rattling off a list of reasons successful people wake up early, "I read an article, I want to stop wasting time," just say, "I like it." The less you explain, the more powerful you appear. A person who is sure of themselves does not need to prove it to anyone. You don't see a diamond apologizing for shining too bright. You don't see a mountain explaining why it stands tall. This is what separates those who are respected from those who are walked over. And the worst part, when you over-explain, people stop taking you seriously. Imagine a boss who keeps explaining every rule he makes, trying to justify why it's necessary. His employees start questioning if he has to explain so much, maybe even he isn't sure about it. But a strong leader simply says, "This is the new rule," and people follow. Now look at your own life. Where are you over-explaining? With your family, friends, at work? Every time you feel the urge to justify, take a step back. Ask yourself, would a powerful person explain this much? If the answer is no, then stop talking. Think about a relationship where one person always feels the need to explain themselves. Maybe a girlfriend constantly justifying why she wants some alone time, or a boyfriend over-explaining why he didn't text back immediately. It weakens them because the moment you start explaining, you put yourself in a lower position. And here's a truth that will change your life. People respect those who are certain of themselves. If you respect your own decisions, others will too. But if you keep explaining, you tell them, "I need your approval to feel okay with my choices." And that's a sure way to lose respect. If someone questions your boundaries, don't justify them, reinforce them. If someone asks why you live a certain way, don't give them a book, give them a sentence. If someone challenges your choices, don't fall into the trap of convincing them. Stand firm. Because the truth is, when you stop over-explaining, you start commanding respect, not by force, not by argument, but by the quiet, unshakable power of a person who knows exactly who they are. Another toxic habit that kills respect: talking more than listening. The loudest voice in the room isn't always the most powerful. Often it's the opposite. The ones who command deep respect know when to speak and when to stay silent. Powerful people listen more than they speak. They observe, they absorb. Then, when they do speak, their words carry weight, because they haven't filled the space with noise. They've waited until they had something meaningful to say. When you dominate conversations, interrupt others, or speak without thought, you signal insecurity. You show that you're desperate to be heard. But when you learn to listen, to hold your tongue, to choose your words carefully, people lean in, they pay attention, because they know when you speak, it means something. This is especially important in leadership roles. Great leaders don't talk to hear themselves, they talk to inspire, to guide, to lead. They create space for others' voices, and in doing so, they build deeper trust and loyalty. So ask yourself, are you speaking out of fear of silence, or are you choosing your words with intention? Then there's the third habit: avoiding responsibility. Blaming circumstances, other people, or external factors for your life only weakens you. It tells the world that you lack control over your own destiny. But real respect comes from owning your choices, taking full responsibility for your actions, your mindset, your results. When you stop blaming and start owning, people sit up and take notice. They see that you're not looking for excuses, you're looking for growth. That kind of mindset commands admiration, not just from others, but from within yourself. Gossiping and speaking negatively about others is another major respect killer. Nothing shrinks your presence faster than tearing others down. It shows a lack of integrity, maturity, and strength. People who gossip may get short-term attention, but they never earn lasting respect. Why? Because if you talk behind someone else's back, others assume you'll do the same to them. True power lies in silence, in choosing not to engage in negativity, in lifting others up instead of dragging them down. That's the mark of someone who carries dignity. And finally, being inconsistent. One day you're strong, the next you're bending. One day you set a boundary, the next you erase it. This back and forth sends mixed messages and erodes trust. Consistency is the foundation of respect. When people know they can count on you to show up as the same grounded, powerful version of yourself, no matter what, their respect deepens. So how do you fix these habits? Start by becoming aware. Notice when you're explaining too much, when you're seeking validation, when you're avoiding accountability. Then make a conscious choice to shift. Speak with confidence, listen more, take ownership, stay positive, be consistent. And above all, stop trying to be liked by everyone. The disease of seeking approval will keep you a prisoner for life. You bend, you shrink, you say yes when you mean no, all because you fear disappointing someone. But let me ask you, what about disappointing yourself? Who will live your life, you or them? The moment you stop pleasing people, you stop being controlled by them. Imagine this: you're at work and your boss suddenly asks you to stay late. Even though you have personal commitments, your mind races. If I say no, he'll think I'm lazy. If I refuse, will I lose my next promotion? So you push your plans aside, smile and say, of course I'll stay. Inside you're exhausted, but you'd rather suffer than risk upsetting someone. This is the trap of people pleasing. The world keeps taking from you because you keep saying yes. Think of a friend who always calls you to dump their problems on you. You could be tired dealing with your own struggles, but you answer every time. Why? Because you don't want them to think you're selfish. But here's the truth: the people who truly respect you will never demand that you sacrifice yourself for their comfort. And the people who expect you to will never truly respect you. The need to be liked is a silent prison. You walk into a room and immediately adjust your energy based on who is there. You laugh at jokes that aren't funny. You nod in agreement when you secretly disagree. You smile when you feel like screaming. You apologize for things that aren't your fault. And why? Because you want people to accept you. But what's the point of being accepted by others if you reject yourself in the process? Have you ever seen a lion apologize for roaring too loudly? Have you ever seen an eagle lower its flight so the pigeons don't feel bad? The ones who are truly powerful do not shrink themselves to make others comfortable. They exist in their full strength, and the world either respects them or moves out of their way. You must stop pleasing people. Not because you don't care, but because if you keep prioritizing everyone else, you will eventually have nothing left for yourself. Think of your energy like a glass of water. Every time you say yes to something you don't want to do, you pour a little out. Every time you put others before yourself, you pour more out. One day, the glass will be empty, and when it is, tell me who will refill it for you. You are not a servant to the opinions of others. You do not owe your time, your energy, your peace to anyone who demands it. Think of the strongest people in history. Did they rise by being agreeable? Did they become legends by making everyone comfortable? No, they stood their ground. They risked being disliked. They chose their own path, even if it meant walking alone. Now look at your own life. How many times have you smiled when you wanted to cry? How many times have you bitten your tongue to keep the peace? How many times have you done things you hated just to avoid conflict? And where has that gotten you? Picture this. A man spends his whole life saying yes to everyone. He's the first to help, the last to rest. Always available, always reliable, always agreeable. And then one day he needs help. He looks around and what does he see? No one, because the people he spent years pleasing only valued what he could do for them, not who he was. If you want respect, you must stop being afraid of disappointment. Disappoint people. Let them be upset. Let them call you selfish. Let them walk away. Because the ones who stay, the ones who understand, those are the ones who truly matter. Think of a woman who always puts her family first. She never rests, never complains, never says no. And what happens? People get used to it. They expect it. They stop appreciating it. One day, she stands up for herself. She says, "No, I won't do this today." And suddenly, everyone is shocked. They call her difficult. They say she's changed. But the truth is she hasn't changed. She just stopped allowing herself to be taken for granted. If you live for others, you will die empty. If you chase approval, you will never be free. People-pleasing is a cycle. You give, they take. And when you finally have nothing left, they move on to someone else. You think you're earning love, but all you're doing is making yourself disposable. Now imagine this. You walk into a room and you no longer care who likes you. You speak your truth without fear. You say no without guilt. You stand firm in your decisions. And suddenly something incredible happens. The ones who only wanted you for what you could give them, they fade away. But the ones who truly respect you, they draw closer. Because the truth is, when you stop seeking approval, you start commanding respect. When you stop trying to fit in, you become unforgettable. And when you stop pleasing everyone, you finally start living for yourself. Why do you need someone to tell you that you're good enough? Why do you need applause, approval, or permission to be yourself? The moment you seek validation
Green
from others,
fields
you
are
give them
beautiful.
power
They are
over you.
peaceful and
You hand
calm.
over
The
the
grass
keys to your
sways in the
happiness, your
wind.
confidence,
The sun
your worth,
warms
and
your
you say,
skin.
"Please
Green
tell me
fields
that
are
I
a breath
am
of
enough."
fresh air.
But what
They
happens
remind
when
us
they
of the
don't?
beauty
Do
of
you
nature.
crumble?
They
Do you
offer a
shrink?
chance to
Do you
escape.
stop believing in yourself?
We can forget
Just
our
because
worries.
someone else doesn't validate
Close your
you
eyes.
doesn't mean you aren't worthy.
Imagine the feeling of
Strongest
soft
people in
grass
this
under your
world do
feet.
not wait for
Hear the
permission
birds
to
singing in
be
the
great.
trees.
They do not beg
Breathe in
for
the fresh
recognition.
air. Green
They do not
fields
look
are a
around for
gift.
validation. They walk their path whether people praise them or not.
Ireland is
And
famous
that's the
for its
kind of
green
strength you must
fields. They're
carry.
called the
So
Emerald
now I
Isle.
challenge
Sheep
you,
graze on
what's
the
one
rolling
thing you've been
hills. The
holding
cliffs of
back on
Moher
because
rise
you were waiting
dramatically
for
from the
approval?
sea. England
What's
has
one
beautiful
boundary
green
you've avoided
fields
setting
too.
because you
Think
feared
of the
disappointment?
Cotswolds. Stone
What's one
fences
dream
line
you've
the
delayed
countryside.
because someone else
Quaint
doubted?
villages dot
Take
the
action
landscape.
today. Make
It is
a
like
decision
stepping
that
back in
aligns
time.
with who you truly
The Masai
are, not
Mara
who
in
others
Kenya
expect
is a
you.
different kind of green
And if you found
field.
this
It is a
video
vast
valuable,
savanna.
hit the like button
Lions,
below.
elephants, and
Subscribe
zebras
to this
roam
channel
free.
for more content
It is a
that
true
empowers you
spectacle
to
of
live
nature.
boldly, confidently, and unapologetically. Remember,
Green
respect
fields are full
starts
of
with
life. Wildflowers
command
bloom
it.
in a rainbow of
Thank you
colors.
for watching.
Butterflies flutter
See
from
you in
flower
the
to
next
flower.
one.
Bees